So I was originally going to do this over Instagram Reels, but I talk too much and the Reels are too short, so that's not quite working, so I thought I'd just do it over this way I can go a little bit slower and explain it more as well. But I'm going to be using two products today to do my wing liner. I'm kind of known for my wing liner. I've been doing it since I was 14, so nearly 10 years I would say, maybe even longer. But I like to use the e.l.f. liquid liner. It's not waterproof, in the shade Jet Black. So just a regular liquid liner. I like this one because it has a little pen type. But you can also use like a gel liner on, if I have one, there we go. Just on like a little angled brush like this can be really nice. You want the brush to be as fine as possible because then you'll get a nice line. Some people like to use the pen ones as well, but I just haven't found one that I really like. I prefer the little paintbrushy type ones basically. The other product I will also be using is the Morphe eyelid primer. This is in the shade Translucent. It just gives a really nice base and stops the liner from moving around, and just stops it from creasing or anything like that as well. So I'm literally just putting a tiny dot onto my fingers. I use about that much, and then boop, boop, just on my eyes. I also like to bring it quite far out, just through here, just because we are doing wing liner and that's where all the product is going to be, so I want it to stay. If I was doing a full eye look, I would just prime my lids like this, all over. One, put a bit more on this lid, so I'm just going to swoop that over there. I do really big makeup looks, so I like to take my primer even underneath, all in the inner corner, just basically all over the eyelid, all the way up to my brow bone, and drag it out towards my temples. Just because then I know everything is going to stick really nicely and last throughout the day. It can also help as like a little bit of like an eyebrow primer sort of thing as well, I find. And I'm just patting it in until it stops feeling tacky and I can't see it and it's all blended basically. Put the lid back on and I take my liner. Normally my eyeliner takes me like 2 minutes in the morning, so I will try and go as slow as possible. I like to give it a good shake first, and then I take the liner out. This one's running out unfortunately, but normally I would just sort of brush off all the excess on the sides like that, just so it's nice and clean. I am left-handed. I have a small mirror in front of me and then a bigger mirror behind. I use two mirrors because I find it makes it a lot easier. I can see close up and further away, so I can check that it's all balanced. Because I'm left-handed, I struggle with the right eye, so I always like to start on the right hand side and then do the left, but I kind of jump back and forth as you'll see. So again, giving it a shake because I yak too much and then I'm just brushing off all of that excess. I like to hold my hands like this because I find that gives me good stability, or you can put your arm on the bench, whatever's easiest for you, but that's a good way for clients as well. And then I relax my entire face as much as possible. And then I normally just sort of follow this line from my eyelid, the bottom lash line, and then I sort of follow that up towards my temple at kind of like a 45-degree angle. That's what works for me, that's the easiest way, and just following that lash line going up. Kind of like that. I like big wings, so I'm going to do a big wing. You can make the shape as big or as small as you want, but you want a line. That's it. Then we're going to go to the second eye after shaking it again. Relax my face. Look in my small mirror. Hopefully you can see. I'm kind of just making sure they're about the same sort of angle. They're not quite. So I'm just going to lengthen this one a little bit. I like my wings big because I have big eyes, and I feel it just looks the best on my eye shape because I have so much space. I need something big there, so one, I can see it and it just fits better pretty much. But if you have smaller eyes or your client has smaller eyes, do a smaller wing. But basically you want two lines going out, more or less the same shape. If they're too big for you or they're the wrong angles, then you can just take a Q-tip with a little bit of micellar water on it, so like a makeup remover. Eye cream is really good, and a little bit of that, and then just swoop along the line and straighten it up as necessary. Or if it's too big, just take the tip off and then just try again, basically. If you struggle with liner, then I would recommend doing it with just like an eyeshadow first. That seems to be a more forgivable way of doing it. But now that I have those two lines and I'm pretty happy with how they're looking, I might just darken this one up so I can see it a bit better. And then I basically go from that outer corner or a little bit further in. Start there, and I like it big, so I drag it all the way to like the inner, into sort of the center of my pupil. I cannot talk today. So it happens after like 2 weeks in lockdown. And I do that. So we have a nice little triangular wingy sort of shape. And then I will just repeat on the other side. Sometimes it's easy to go inside to out. Kind of like that. Relax the face. Make sure they're even. Because I'm really bad at lifting up my eyebrows when I'm doing my makeup. So I want to make sure it's all relaxed. Just so I can check that shape in my faraway mirror. Pretty happy with that. This one's a bit longer. So I'm just going to lengthen this one. If my liner would work. I get this one from Kmart. I like it. I like e.l.f. Simple as that. It's good makeup. My eyes are two slightly different shapes as well. I reckon this one's slightly more round and this one's more almond. So that sort of thing will come into effect on how you do your liner, because not everyone has the same eye shape as me or the same amount of eyelid space. And it's also up to personal preference. Not everyone likes big wings like mine, but I find for me, this is what I like, and this is what, yeah, it works. If you wanted them smaller, you can definitely do them smaller just by doing just like from here, the outer corner, and just filling in that sort of outer corner bit. And then you'll have just a smaller version of this wing, but go big or go home. So I'm basically just filling in all that outside bit. And I like to bring it in the inner part and sort of all the way across the lid. I prefer more of, I guess, like the 50s kind of pin-up kind of liner. I'm not a huge fan personally on myself of like the Fox sort of liner where it just goes on the outside bit. It's not quite my thing. I like it big. I like it dramatic. So I'm literally just gonna drag that little brush along my lash line. And then just connect it up like that. That looks pretty good to me. But that's the left side, so it's super easy. So now I'm going to hopefully do the same thing on the other eye as well. And hope they don't get too thick. But I'm doing that hand thingy again. Hand on the elbow, just so I have a nice support there. And I'm literally just dragging the brush along my lash line, and then here I want it to be a bit thicker, so I'm just going to go from that outer corner where the wing starts to get thicker and just drag along. And connect two shapes together. I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm going to shake my dyeing liner one more time and then just make sure it's all filled in and whatnot. Get that crisp shape we all like. Like that. And then, yeah, that's basically it. That is my super simple liner tutorial. I'm going to spice it up a bit because I'm feeling spicy today, bit of extra. So I'm basically just going to take my liner and I'm just going to put a little spoon right there. and then thicken the edges. I quite like it. Makes it a bit more dramatic, a bit more punky. Same thing on the other side. But you can really see how like the liner itself follows along the lash line. It's not possible for everyone, like if you have more downturned eyes than me, or just certain eye shapes, it's not always possible to follow that lash line, but you kind of want to just keep it like a full, the ideal is at a 45-degree angle, but everyone's eye is different, everyone has different preferences, so it's totally up to you how you like to do your liner, or how the client requests it is another thing. But because I'm feeling a bit punky and a bit, you know, dramatic and schmilky today, I'm gonna do a little bit extra. Just take a bit of the NARS palette and a small brush. This one's just like a pencil brush by Morphe. This one's not a specific one, but just like a little pencil kind of style brush. And then I'm just going into my NARS Skin Deep palette. I'm going to take the dark black kind of shade over there, and then I'm literally just going to do that. I'm just focusing it on that outer corner where I put that little bit of extra liner there. Not everyone likes this. It's not everyone's cup of tea, you know, but I like the smoky eye and a dramatic liner, and this is just a fun way to sort of do a bit more if you don't want to do too much, you know. You want a simple eye look, but you want to have a little something there. And then with my brush, I'm keeping that same line as I'm doing the blending as well. I don't want to be blending all different directions. I want to keep it in sort of the same area. If it gets a bit crazy, you can always just blend it out using your finger or like a clean brush. I don't have anything else on my face at the moment, so it's pretty easy to clean it up and not have to worry about, you know, my foundation or anything like that. But yeah, I think that will do. And that is the long version of doing my liner.